Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is going to work, but I am going to try it anyway. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play a few minutes of one of my favorite channels. This is called the X22 Report. Now, this gentleman here I've been listening to him for like 10 years, and he does a report every single day and kind of sums up and puts it in layman's terms, just plain English and plain terms, what happened that day and what President Trump is doing and what it means. And I am sure I might not even be, it's probably going to get copyrighted because this guy is so accurate. And he has been kicked off a lot of, he's been kicked off of Facebook and all that stuff. And I don't even think YouTube and everything. And I don't even think he's ever even tried to get back on either one of those platforms. And he doesn't, I think he has his stuff blocked. And so it might be a copyright issue because if I clicked on Facebook right here, it won't play on Facebook. It won't go to Facebook. Or I would have been showing you, letting you listen to these reports. So I don't know what we're going to put on the screen, but me and Darlene will figure this out. But I want you to hear just a couple of minutes of the X22 report. And then I want to encourage you to go over to it. It's on Truth Social. There's also a platform called Truth Social. President Trump is founded that platform. And a lot of people make videos and post them up over there just like they do on YouTube. And I listen to that a lot. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, the X22 report is very, very informative. Check it out.
Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this episode 3772, and today's date is November 11th, 2020.
See there? 3,072 episodes. That's how many videos he's made. That's a lot. And he's on top of it, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out.
172, and today's date is November 11th, 2025. And the title of the episode is Clinton Corruption Files Released. Trump is in the process of constructing the new America.
Okay, before he gets started, I said the same thing earlier today when I was making videos. I said the same thing. President Trump is constructing a whole new system. Well, it's not new, really. He's going back and going old school with the way everything was supposed to be. Ladies and gentlemen, we're supposed to be on a tariff system. We're not supposed to be paying income tax, and then they taxing us and doing all that stuff. You remember we were in high school, and they were telling us about all that stuff in history. The Tea Party and all that, the Boston Tea Party, all that stuff, where people were getting taxed and all that. We fought a war in America so we wouldn't have to pay taxes. And now we're paying taxes to the IRS. And President Trump is going to get rid of the IRS. And you mad at President Trump? But anyway, let's just catch a few minutes of this. I'm praying that we can get it on the air so you can get a little taste of it. But it's the X22 report. I'm just going to let him cook for a couple of minutes without interruption. Check it out.
The economic collapse news. Now, the deep state, the corrupt politicians, the private West Central Bank, the World Economic Forum, they are now panicking because they see that Trump's system is growing and growing and growing, and they know they have to stop it any way they possibly can before people recognize that his system is now basically overshadowing the central bank system. And when people start to realize that the system actually benefits the people, the central bankers are going to have a major, major problem. And this is what they're most afraid of, and this is what they're going to try to stop. And this is why they are bringing Trump to court. This is why they're trying to stop his tariffs that he's implementing right now, because as his parallel economic system, as it grows, people are going to start to realize, well, wait a minute, it didn't cause inflation. I'm getting $2,000 dividend. Remember, it's not stimulus, it's a dividend. And when people start to recognize that this new system is...
And let's talk about that just for a quick second, because I was talking about that today. One of my favorite channels, Devoria Dawkins. Man, if you haven't been on his channel, you need to check him out on YouTube, Devoria Dawkins. And I check with him every night. Me and Devoria, we disagree on one thing. Devoria says that he doesn't believe that President Trump needs to do the $2,000 checks. But what I disagree with Devoria on, and what I'm coming to understand, is when they did it before for COVID, those stimulus checks were printed. In other words, that new money was printed. And we know a bunch of new money causes inflation. But President Trump this is not new money. It's not a stimulus check. It's actually a dividend. This money is coming from income that President Trump has brought in through the tariffs. So, Davari, that's two different things. And that's not going to cause inflation. And I was talking about that today. And so, yeah, shout outs to Big Al. We figured that out. Hey, we finna come on up with these content creators. You know what I'm saying? We can think a little bit too and get the job done. But I think what President Trump is about to do, he's not going to hurt the economy and cause inflation with a stimulus check. He's going to stimulate the economy and boost the economy with a dividend check. That's totally different.
This new system is now competing with the central bank, and Trump is weaning us off the income tax.
And I said that today. I think President Trump, eventually, we will not be paying income taxes. We won't even be charged. That system, I think President Trump is going to completely do away with it. I think people that's in business will have some level of taxation. The money the government has to run on something. But with the president cutting all of that waste that's in the government and all of that stuff that they were doing, the government was just stealing money hand over fist, and we getting all that money back. And then if he makes all those cuts and he cut all those people that weren't doing anything, that's getting paid for nothing, then payroll in any business 9 times out of 10 is always your biggest expense. And so the president is cutting payroll. He's cutting it. The government expense, he's cutting it down to where government is not going to take nearly as much money to run it. And we don't need it. And so therefore the money will be in the people's hands in the form of businesses. But that's where we're headed. And the president, he's creating a whole new system. And he's going to pay off the debt and put money. He's already shown us where he's going to have what it's estimated 21 trillion by the next 2 months in his first year. By the time his first year is over, tariffs is going to total about $21 trillion. That's a lot of money. And that money is going to be able to run the government, and he's going to be able to put money in people's pockets. It's going to take care of the health care and do all that. And then he's still got all that other money that they've been wasting. He's going to get all that money back. So the president dealing with it's a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. The United States of America is going to be rich, very, very, very wealthy, very wealthy. The president has already said his goal is to produce 20 million millionaires. Did y'all hear what I said? 20 million millionaires. If he's going to produce 20 million millionaires, then there's going to be some billionaires come out of that. Let me get in that spot. Let me get in front of y'all. Here, let me run. And I'm trying to, me and my family, man, we loading up. We getting it done. Everything, man, we got some dreams and goals. We loading up. And shout out to Tater Tax. But anyway, I'm going to get back to the video. But Trailer International, we finna do the same thing Trump International has done. We're gonna be rolling. But anyway, let's get back to the report. But President Trump is changing the whole system and going back to the basics, the way our forefathers intended for the government to run. Small government, and everything runs on tariffs. That means money is coming in from other countries. We don't need Canada for nothing. We don't need Saudi Arabia. We have our own oil and gas. And ladies and gentlemen, do you know what he's tapped into in Alaska? Alaska is the United States of America. How many millions of acres of land that's full of oil that's never been touched? And President Trump has tapped into that already. And oil wells and everything is being built, jobs all over the place. Every day now when I turn on the radio, you got job placement centers asking for carpenters and welders and everything, anything. Anybody with a skill, they saying, come on down. It's already happening, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's finish this.
the people are going to go, holy crap, look at this. This is absolutely incredible. You have to remember, Trump is building the new system from the ground up, which means he dug the hole, he's putting in the foundation, and eventually he'll build the building. They're trying to stop him at the foundation phase. And this is not going to work because Trump and the Patriots, they have the upper hand. And this is the only system that will compete with a central bank. Because remember, we need to fund the government. Of course, a much, much smaller government, but we still need the funding. How do you fund a government? You need income or you borrow currency. Well, Trump rather bring in the income because the people are then not on the hook. They don't know anything. Plus, you're not creating currency out of thin air, which means you're not adding to inflation. And the people don't have to pay anything back. You don't have to.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that make sense? That's all you need to know right there. That should set you free right there. You already been set free. Man, President Trump was sent to clean this mess up. He's on a mission. That's why he don't give a damn about what people say about him and all that stuff. He just keep rolling. He knows what he's supposed to do. He was sent.
Fund the government. See, when you borrow currency from the central bank,
you know how they always talking about the debt and we owe money and we got to pay this back and the government that's and they borrowing this and all that. That's what X-22, that's what this report, that's what he's talking about. But Trump is finna get rid of all that stuff. But that's why America's moving into a socialist type thing. So some of the people that's in power, the Democrats, they are trying to knock everybody else out and then they control everything. That's what they're trying to do. And they're trying to use the government to do it and make everybody dependent on the government. And then they give you what they want you to have. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be terrible. You can't live like that and let the government, that does not work at all. And then the government, they always slow. You don't want the government controlling what you eat and when you eat it and you got to get everything from them. No, hell no. You get out and hustle and do what you got to do and make your own life. And you do that through our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And I can't even tell you how many times I've heard Donald Trump say that. As a matter of fact, we need to make a video about how many times Trump has referenced Jesus Christ. He says it all the time, but they don't put that on the news. They cut that. That's why they'll never show him live, except on Fox. You catch him live every day on Fox. But other channels, they're not going to show you the president live because they don't want you to hear what he got to say. They'll let him make a speech or something. They'll record it, and then they'll cut little stuff out of it and then tell you what to say. And then a lot of times they still don't show the video. They show you a picture. And then they tell you what he said, and then they tell you what to think about it. And that's why some of y'all so booked up. I don't listen to that mess. I listen to the president. And guys like this, X-22 report, who summing it up.
just attached. Someone's got to pay it back. Where do you get the funds? Now, of course, the central bankers, they don't want the tariff.
That's because we owe. They want the system that we got in place now. They print money, and then they loan it to us. The American system, the way we're doing business now, is totally illegal. And it's illegal. It's a corrupt system. And President Trump is putting it out of business and putting us back where we're supposed to be with income coming in from other countries. They pay us for the stuff that we produce. And the stuff that we produce here is going to provide jobs. The manufacturing, all of that stuff is coming back to the United States of America, and there will be high-paying jobs everywhere. Y'all remember the glass plant and all the plants, the woodwork, all this stuff that Louisiana got, all this wood and energy. All of that stuff is going to open back up, ladies and gentlemen. It's already on the way. I noticed I'm in Louisiana, and I noticed between here and Jonesboro, a little town, there's a couple of logging companies that have already popped up with brand new trucks. One company I'm gonna go down there and see if I can run ads for them. I know they got 15, 20 brand new trucks, and they wouldn't have all those trucks if they wouldn't finna cut wood. And so y'all remember back in the day when a lot of people made their living cutting wood, cutting lumber and wood, logging, and the wife was at home. And back then, those people had 7 or 8 kids. Everybody went to college. Those are the days that President Trump is talking about when he says, make America great again. That's what's happening. It's coming back. And then even on your income taxes, the things that he has done for America is off the chain. President Trump, if you buy a new car, you can write it off, the whole car, the interest on the car. And Taylor Tax, we know how to do depreciation. See, I know how to do a whole lot of stuff that I learned through President Trump. Matter of fact, this show is sponsored by Taylor Tax. TaylorTaxService.com. Go to TaylorTaxService.com. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you need to go over there and hold your spot. You can hit, there's a button on the website that says submit info. Send us a copy of your driver's license. That'll hold your spot. And guarantee you we'll do your taxes this year. If you don't do that, we might not be able to get you in. Because when tax season starts, we're already jam-packed. And we did, 260, something like that last year. So better get in where you fit in. But anyway, let's get back to the video. TaylorTaxService.com. Click that get info button and submit your info. Send us your driver's license, and we'll put you in the system. That'll hold your spot. And then later on, when you get your W-2s and everything else you need to send us, then you can just go back to that link and download that information, and you will be cooking with gas. Taylor Tax Service, ladies and gentlemen. We were trained by Trump, and we are going to get that money. This will be the biggest refunds in American history. You heard me?
Tariff system in place because that would fund the interest on the borrowing. And the people wouldn't have to pay it. That's why they always get rid of the tariff system. Yes, they leave a couple tariffs here and there to use it for leverage. But overall, the tariff system is really non-existent. And they want the people to be enslaved. And actually, Elon Musk pretty much sums it up and explains to everyone why this system continually enslaves you. And it gets worse and worse and worse as time goes on. And Trump now is breaking us out of this enslavement. And he's created this new system. And at every turn, the deep state, the central bankers, they're going to try to stop. Now, what's very interesting is that as time goes on, people recognize and they experience and they see that his system does not harm the people. The system assists the people. And this is something the deep state players do not want anyone to see. And he already has Fed Moran in position. He's pushing for another rate cut. He's looking for a half a point, saying, okay, we could go for a quarter point, but he'd rather have a half a point. Now, we're going to be talking about Fed Moran because he also talks about the stable coin. He also talks about how this could be used later on, and we'll be talking about that.
Mm-hmm. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is the X22 report. You need to come over there and I just gave you a little taste of it. Hopefully we can keep that on and not get copyright, not get a strike on YouTube with that. But X22 report. Go over to Truth Social and click on the X22 report. He does a report every single day, and he will update you on what's really going on. Okay, I appreciate it. And I just wanted to bring that to you. This is Big Al, UncleCoon. We appreciate you dropping in. Be sure to check out UncleCoon.com and pick up you a t-shirt. You'll look good in it. We got hoodies too. Peace. Can't touch this.
Real deal. That gal on the mic, UncleCoon in the house. Drop the knowledge, stay true, no room for doubt. From the debates to celebs, we cover it all. Tune in, hit subscribe, you don't wanna miss the call. Real Al, UncleCoon, bringing the heat. Every episode's fire, can't be beat. Hit that like, share the vibe. Join the fam, come along for the ride. Politics, pop culture, and everything between. Big Al's got the scoop, you know what I mean. From Harris to Trump, we break it down. Common sense talk, the best show around. Real Al, UncleCoon, bringing the heat. Every episode's fire, can't be beat. Hit that like, share share the vibe. Join the fam, come along for the ride. Cash App, show some love, support the grind. Big Al's on the rise, one of a kind. UncleCoon Podcast, the place to be for real talk, real folks, and real TV. The real deal. Al, UncleCoon, bringing the heat. Every episode's fire, can't be beat. Hit that like, share the vibe. Join the fam, come along for the ride.